Howdy champs, my name is Mohit, and guys, in this Dreamweaver CS6 tutorial I'm going to show you a lot of things pertaining to CSS. This is a lesson that a beginner cannot afford to miss. There are so many small tricks. They really are not tricks, but they are very useful lessons as far as any beginner is concerned. So if you're a beginner, just getting the hang of HTML, CSS or Dreamweaver, this lesson should come in pretty handy. Let me start and prove my point. I'm going to hit on the create new HTML button, okay, because I already defined my local site folder. Okay, first things first, let me give it a title, and CSS for beginners. Right, let me save the file up, file and save, and let me say CSS. Right, cool. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to insert two images. So click on the insert button, go down to image, go inside the images folder, which is inside my local site folder, okay, and from there I'm going to fetch the image of a coin, which is heads. Okay, now this is a 1 rupee Indian coin, and this is the head side. It's the head of the coin. Let me save the file up once again, and after which, guys, I'm gonna insert one more image, this time the tails, okay, the flip side, that is, and so I have two images to start with. Okay, guys, I'm actually gonna tell you what am I gonna do over the next 5-10 minutes. The first thing that I would want either you to think about, maybe if you can do, you tell me how would you do it. I would want the coin on the right hand side to come off and be on the left hand side, so that the coin on the left hand side should get swapped with the coin on the right hand side. So basically the tails should come on the left hand side, the heads should come on the right hand side. Okay, this is possible pretty easily through a CSS property. So guys, if you were in my place, how would you actually do that? Okay, but if I were in your place, I'll show you how I can actually do that. Also, guys, one thing that you should notice out here is both are images. Okay, basically you can see out here I've used the image tag. We have the src attribute. This is the path, this is the width attribute, the height attribute. The width and the height of the coin is 200 each pixels, that is. Okay, and here we have another img tag. Okay, so image, the element image img, is actually an inline element. An inline element by definition allows another inline element to sit to its left or its right, basically adjacent. They are not narcissistic in nature like a block element. They occupy only as much as space as they need. Okay, a block level element separates itself from the rest of the content. It is not the case with the img tag, which, as I said, is an inline element. Okay, so the first thing that I'm looking to do is I'm looking to swap the images. The second thing that I'm looking to do is I want to make one coin sit on top of the other. Okay, the third thing that I'm looking to do is I want to make one coin sit on top of the other. One under, one is below, one is above the other. Okay, so the top down hierarchy instead of left right hierarchy. After which, guys, I want to make one coin disappear out of the two. Okay, after which, guys, I would want to delete one of the coins out of the two. Remove completely. See, there's a difference between disappear and delete. Disappear means the coin is there but it's not showing through. Delete means that it's actually gone completely. Okay, and after which, guys, I'm looking to make the coin show up in half only, maybe chop off the top half and show the bottom half. After which, guys, I'm looking to flip the coin upside down. So I'm going to show you how this can be done purely through CSS. So I have a feeling this is going to come in pretty handy for it should be a good lesson for beginners, and for advanced users maybe this they may not learn anything new out here. Okay, but it's a must watch for any beginner user of CSS or Dreamweaver. Okay, so let's start. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this plus button to generate or create a new CSS rule. Okay, let me keep the contextual selector where it is right now, which is a class. All right, the other options are ID, tag, and compound. And let me define the rule in this document only, basically create an internal or an embedded rule. Okay, so you always start a class rule with a full stop or a period or a dot, and let me give it a name, style1. And you could have chosen a different name, guys, absolutely fine with that. So let me say OK. Sorry. After which, guys, let me go to the box category and let me set the float to a left, and let's say OK. So all that I've done when defining the class style1 is just setting the float property to a left, to a value of left. Okay, now as I said, I wanted to swap the two coins, and it's done pretty easily. All I need to do is I need to just select the coin on the right hand side, okay, which is the one which is showing the tail face, and go down out here in the properties panel and give it a class of style1. Right now it had no class, that's why none was showing up against the coin. And the moment I do that, guys, it doesn't actually swap the place but it does. You see, I need to be sure only in the live view. Unless and until I'm in the live view, guys, I cannot be sure that what I really wanted to do has actually happened. Okay, so it's a mistake, a lot of beginners make. They don't check the live view ever. So I need to be in the live view to make sure that what I needed to do has actually happened. And guys, yes, the coins have swapped their positions. The one on the right hand side has actually come on the left hand side. Cool. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to do, and I said I would make one coin sit on top of the other. Let's see what CSS property we can use out here. The first thing before applying another CSS property is that I would want to set I would want to disable this float property out here. So I'm going to click just before the word float out here. Okay, this disables the float property. So basically the style1 has been rendered useless, non-existent, and you can see the heads is back where it was. So the swapping has been unswapped. The coins have been unswapped. They are back in their original position. Okay, so let's see how I can actually make one coin sit on top of the other. What I can do is I can create yet another CSS rule by clicking on this plus button. Okay, this time, guys, I'm gonna select a tag selector. Basically I'll be targeting the image tag or the image element. It'll apply to all image elements. When I'm creating a tag rule, basically I'm redefining how an element should behave. Again, as far as the rule definition is concerned, I'm making an embedded or an internal rule. Basically an internal rule is one which sits in the head of the document. Okay, let me say OK, and this time, guys, I'm gonna go to the positioning category straight away, set the position to an absolute. Okay, and say OK, and presto, hey presto, you can see one coin has actually gone on top of the other. And now I'm absolutely sure most of you are actually confused. What happened? What happened suddenly? How changing the position property from static, when nothing is mentioned, guys, the default is static, to an absolute, the coin actually sits, goes and tucks itself. Both the coins have actually tucked themselves in the top left corner. Be sure that the other coin is underneath. It's not actually gone away. The other coin is underneath. Now, how did this happen? How did this actually happen? See, what happens is when you set the position property of an element to absolute, then it becomes then its position actually becomes relative to the top left corner of the page or the parent element. Since the parent element out here is body, it doesn't have any envelope of any other element, which or a div out here. both the coins then become relative to the top left corner of the page. So both the coins tuck themselves where the top left corner is, and hence they have tucked themselves on top of each other. Okay, so guys, overlapping can happen when you set the position property to a relative or an absolute or a fixed. Okay. It's possible out there. Anyways, so I'm pretty happy with my effort. Okay, the next thing I said I'll show you is that I would want one coin on top of the other, basically the top down hierarchy, not the left right hierarchy. Let's see how can I actually do that. I'm going to go back to the same style that I created for the image tag. I'm going to double click. I'm going to go back to the positioning property. I'm going to set it to a static. Basically, whether you mention the position property or not, it's always static. So default is static. So I'm setting it back to the default. Let me say apply, and as you can see, both the coins are now left right. Now I'm going to go to the block category, guys. I'm going to go to the display property. I'm going to set the display property to a block. By default, as I said, images are inline in nature. I'm actually changing their very nature. Okay, let me say okay, and guys, you can actually see I'm in the live view, and you can see now they have a top down pattern. Okay, so one coin on the top, one at the bottom. Okay, the next thing I said I'll be showing you is how I can actually make one coin disappear. Let me make the coin on the top disappear while the heads disappear, while the tails actually shows through. Okay, so before I can actually do that, guys, I'm gonna set the position property and the display property useless by I'm gonna disable the properties like this. Okay, so even though the we have a style for the image element, the properties have been disabled, so it's as good as not being there. Okay, let me show you what I'm gonna do now. As I said, I'm gonna make one of the coins disappear. Let's say the coin on the right, the left disappear. Okay, so I'm gonna click on the plus button, the new CSS Rule button, and let me make a class of this appear. Okay, and as I said, a class name should start with a full stop, and the rule is getting saved itself in this document only. Let me say okay, and let me go to the positioning category once again, and under the visibility property I'm gonna choose an option hidden. Let me say okay, and after which I need to apply to the coin on the right hand side. Let me select that coin. Let me come to the live view, guys, that's important, and I'm gonna select the disappear class. Okay, it's not disappeared. Again, guys, as I said, please always check the results in the live view, and the moment I go to the live view, as you can see, the coin on the right has actually disappeared completely. Okay, let me come to the live view, guys. Let me set the class back to none. Okay, let me select the coin on the left hand side. Let me give it a class of disappear this time. Let me go to the live view, and guys, the coin on the left has actually disappeared as well. Okay, cool. So let me come to the live view, and then let me reset it back to a class of none. Okay, now this time, guys, I would want to make the coin on the left delete itself. There's a difference, guys. I mean, when it gets deleted, basically it leaves that space, so that a space is available for the coin on the right hand side, the element on the right hand side, to fill that space. So that space can be occupied because it's been deleted, it's been taken away. Okay, so disappearing means that the space is not taken by any adjacent element, but when you delete it, the way I'm gonna do right now, that space is available for the next element to fill in. Let's see how that is actually possible. So I'm gonna make yet another class style or class selector. I'm gonna put a full stop out here. I'm gonna say delete. Okay, so that is the name of the class that I've chosen. Let me say okay. Again, it's an internal or an embedded rule, guys. and let me go to the block category. This time I'm gonna set the display property to a none. Let me say okay. Let me go to the live view, guys, and I'm sorry, I need to apply the class as well. So I'm gonna select the coin on the left hand side, which is the heads. I'm gonna go to the class out here. I'm gonna give it a class of delete. Okay, and even though I'm not in the live view, you can actually see that it's actually left its place, so that the adjacent element on the right hand side actually comes there and sits, takes that space. The space is available, it's gone, it's been removed from its place. So there's a difference when you set the block property, the display property to none. It actually removes the element, so that space becomes available for the next element. But when you use the visibility property, set it to hidden, it's just it just makes a thing disappear, vanish, but does not actually remove. The space is still vacant, but that cannot be filled up. That void cannot be filled up by any other element around it. Cool. Okay. Next, guys, I said I'm going to show you how can I actually chop a coin in half. Basically, let's try and remove the top half. Let's see how I can actually make only the top half vanish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this plus button to generate yet another class. This time, let me say chop off. That's the name of the class that I've chosen. Again, it should start with a full stop or a period. Guys, in case you forget to put the period out there, or you intentionally don't put it, Dreamweaver will put it for you. Okay, again, it's an internal or an embedded rule, not saving it as an external style sheet. Let me say okay, and this time, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the positioning category once again. I'm going to set the positioning to an absolute. Okay, and I'm going to use the clip property this time. Remember, guys, the clip property works only if the element is absolute or fixed. Will not work if it's static. The default is static. I'm going to use the clip property. I'm going to set the clipping, the top 100, the right to a 200, the bottom to a 200 pixels, and the left to a 0. Let me explain what this means. I'm telling Dreamweaver that, hey Dreamweaver, I would want you to show the coin true using the clip property only after leaving 100 pixels from the top. So from 100th pixel to the 200th pixel, top bottom, okay, show only between the 100th pixel and the 200 pixels, and as far as left is concerned, from 0th pixel to the 200th pixel. Okay, so basically left to right should flush and show everything through, but top to bottom start showing from the middle to the bottom. And let me say okay. Let's see whether I was actually speaking the truth. I need to apply the class, guys, so let me come to the live view. I cannot apply the rule when I'm in the live view. Let me select the coin. Look out here, the class applied is none. Let me select the class chop off, and guys, the moment I do that, you can actually see, let me go to the live view, that is chop the coin completely. The top upper half, the top half has been taken away. Okay, let me go back to the class chop off, and let me disable the properties like this, like so. Okay, now as I said, I would want to flip the coin upside down, and let's see how I can actually do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a property out here, and let's say I'm going to use a property called transform. Sorry, see guys, I'm going to use a property called transform, but I'm going to prefix let's say a Moz for Mozilla. See, certain properties, certain CSS property would want you to prefix certain letters before the property. Moz for Mozilla, O for Opera, MS for Microsoft Internet Explorer, just to be on the safe side, because certain properties are not supported by certain browsers. Just to be on the safe side, I'm using Moz for Mozilla. This is important, guys. Okay, and then the transform property. So transform, and then I'm gonna hit the tab key, so that I have different options available. I'm gonna choose the option called rotate. Okay, and I'm gonna set the rotation to 180 degrees. Isn't this the value that you need to set to flip something upside down, invert it? Yes, that is the one. Okay guys, let me go to the live view. In fact, I'm the live view. You see the flipping has not happened. It's not turned itself upside down. It's not gone turtle. I'm gonna make sure that it's actually going turtle. You see, sometimes going into the live view actually helps, and there are times you have to preview it in the browser. There's no other option, and this is one such scenario. You would need to preview it in the browser only. So I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna click say preview in Firefox. Let me save the changes to the file CSS and let's see what happens. Keeping my fingers crossed, hope everything's fine. It's taking a bit too long, and guys, you can actually see the coin has turned turtle. All right, pretty cool. Okay, and guys, I would want to terminate the tutorial out here, but just let me tell you one more option. I'm not going to show it. This tutorial has actually run into many minutes. I'm going to quickly just tell you another option, just in case I was to encapsulate this coin inside a div. Okay, and set the, let's say, the height of the div to 100 pixel instead of the 200 pixels height of the coin. Yes, I can reduce the height of the div to 100 pixels, and then if I were to go to the positioning category and set the overflow to a hidden, what would happen is that this would chop off the bottom half of the div, making sure that the coin's top half only shows through. So that was another trick that you can try as well. Okay, so guys, you can contain a bigger image in a smaller div, and hence making sure that you chop off the areas that you don't need, just very similar to the way I've actually used the clip property. Okay, so guys, you can try that yourself. I'm not gonna show it to you. I'm pretty sure you have understood the message that I'm trying to convey. So guys, I hope you like this tutorial, and I hope you'll return again and again to watch other tutorials that'll keep flowing from me. You have a good day, guys. Bye bye. Peace.